Watching Weekend at 5 with me, Navdeep Kaur Marwa. Hope you're all having a good day. Today in this special episode, we have someone special with us. Tell me one question. I ask you one question. Who takes the financial decisions in your house? Most likely, it will be the male member of the house. But our guest today, which is Hesha Irani, is trying to break this norm. And how? Let's ask her today. Welcome to the show, Hesha. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Navdeep.
Right. Hesha, to begin with me, as I said in the introduction, most of the societies have the male of the family taking the financial decisions. And as you have your venture called Her Financial Independence, talks about breaking this stereotype. So how did this idea came about?
So, Navdeep, growing up, money has been a taboo topic among females. Right. So you may have experienced that as well. And so many other women I talk to have experienced a similar story where it was considered impolite for women to have conversations about money or about their investing habits in social settings.
Right.
And as a result of that, what has happened is the gap in financial knowledge between males and females has just widened over the years. And that in itself, the knowledge gap is not letting women make independent decisions for themselves.
Right. Despite the fact that they are earning as much or even more than their male counterparts at times.
Right. So even if you're the breadwinner in the family, I have come across so many families where the women are the breadwinners, but it's still the male making the decisions. And the biggest thing to highlight there is that women have different, or I would like to put it, unique money needs as compared to men.
Right.
So my experience of being in the finance industry as well for 10 years and having received formal education in finance, I have noticed that there are stark differences in how men perceive money and women perceive money. Right. So just say, for example, if you ask a male, why do you want to invest? And the most common answer would be to make money. But when you ask a woman, why would you like to invest? There is always a goal behind it. So I want to plan for my child's education. I want to plan for my retirement, or I want to plan for that career break. But that is often not being spoken about.
Right.
And then I ask women, why are they not investing? The common answer I get is it's too risky or it's too complicated. Well, if you're talking about risk, now risk exists in so many aspects in life, right? So when you're driving, you're constantly exposed to potential hazards. There is risk there. When you're cooking, there is a risk of getting burnt. But we're still as women, we're so confident in doing those things because we've been taught to assume those risks that now those risks don't even seem as a risk anymore.
Right.
But when it comes to investing, nobody has taught us these things. So most of us have learned it ourselves.
Right.
And that's why I want to help several other women to learn these things. So how do you manage the risk when it comes to investing so that they can grow their own money?
Right. So that's how your venture started.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So what all services, like suppose, what all does your venture does? What all the your company or your venture does for a person like me who is not that interested in investment, doesn't know how to invest her money properly?
Right. So the main thing that I'm offering is a finance club. Now, you may not have heard of something like that. Even I haven't heard of like that in spite of being in the industry. So I'm launching New Zealand's first women's finance club. Now, what this club is, it's just basically a way to connect with other women. And also, you will get access to a lot of content that is catered to your specific needs. So just say, if you're given two options, right? One option where you're sitting at your desk all alone in your house and watching videos on YouTube, listening to podcasts and sifting through irrelevant material on the internet. versus another option where you can connect with other women, you can learn from hundreds of other women, you can learn from industry experts, you can see how other women are actually implementing and benefiting from the learnings. Which one would you pick?
Of course, the second one.
Right. So that's what the club is for. So it's there as a community, so as a support network for you. So you need to talk to someone, there's someone there for you. It's not just shooting in the dark.
Right. And as to what do I need to do to become a member of this club? How do I get those information?
Great question. So all you have to do is just go to my website, www.herfi.co.nz, and you'll see the option of Women's Finance Club, and you just join the waitlist. The club is launching in a few weeks' time. So I'll add you to the waitlist, and while you're there, you get started with certain guides, workbooks, and then I have an event coming up for Mother's Day in next week. And also I have a webinar. So you'll get access to all of that. And once the club launches, then we'll have a lot more in-person events as well.
So there will be, of course, this is chargeable for like the membership.
That's a great question. So it is a free membership.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you can have, because I strongly believe that knowledge should not be a privilege. Everyone should have access to knowledge. So if you have access to financial knowledge, it means it gives you the power to make independent decisions and to be able to live life on your terms. So there is a freemium membership model where you can have access to the guides, workshops, workbooks for free. But if you wish to then implement that learning in your day-to-day lives, where you wish to attend in-person events or have coaching sessions with myself, learn from other industry experts, then there is a small fee of $25 a month. And that's really just, it's like a cost to help me keep this platform moving.
Right. So tell me, since the time you have launched your website, what kind of response have you received? What kind of queries are you getting?
So the response has been phenomenal. I have interacted with over 100 women in the last couple of months. And when I asked them the question that if given an opportunity to manage your own money, would you take that? Or would you continue allowing your partner to do that? And the unanimous response has been, yes, I would like to be involved in that decision-making process. So I've received a lot of interesting queries as well. So one of them being is that why is this specifically for women and not for everyone? Right. So I am not biased. My platform is for everyone. But the reason why I'm targeting women is because there is a lack of such a platform for women. So I want women to be comfortable. You don't want to be mansplained. So some guy in a workshop just talking jargons like portfolio diversification, asset allocation, and then you're sitting there and you're like, I spent an hour attending this workshop, but I didn't get any benefit out of it. Right. So that's the reason. So that's been one of the main queries that I've received.
Right. Also, talking about Indian society, do you think the disparity between male and female when it comes to investment is much more in Indian society? We are conditioned like that? Since you're from India, you are from Mumbai, and I know that. So have you seen that there's more Indians, women are more prone to this fact that they're okay with the fact that the man of the house is managing stuff?
Well, answering whether they're okay or no, I'm not really in a position to say that because my experience has been quite different. But as far as the thing is that it has been passed on for generations. So it's kind of ingrained in you. So as women, we are taught that when we're younger, where girls are taught to save money. And as women, we carry on that tradition where we become the savers in the family. But men are the ones who are taught to make the bolder decisions, take risk in life. So they are the ones who are likely to make the investing decisions. Right. So a lot of working women may not be okay with it, but because it has been passed on for generations, nobody's really making a change. And that's what I'm here to help women get the confidence in order to make that decision for themselves.
So what are the changes that you feel would motivate? What changes do you want to see in women when it comes to the investment options or decisions about investment?
So the most important change is to feel confident. So say if I ask you, how many hours a week do you spend making money, as in like your job or your income, your business or your side hustle? 40, 50 hours.
Yeah.
But how many hours do you spend managing that money a week?
Very little.
Yeah. And then how many hours a week do you spend growing that money?
Much more.
No, how many hours a week do you spend in growing that money?
Not at all. Not at all.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So
I think the focus of we women, the focus is not there. The focus is about just, doing a bit, but not in the investment side of it.
Yes. So the focus primarily has been in making money and saving money. But the missing gap is investing money. Because if you want to grow your money long term, then the investing is the tool that'll help you to achieve that.
Right. So what are your key suggestions to women to start investing, start thinking about the investment and giving their voice in that side?
So the way to get started is think about smaller goals. So set small goals for yourself. Say, what's your short-term goal? What's your long-term goal? And start with small amounts. So you don't need thousands of dollars to get started, right? Now, I'll give you a simple example that if you invest $100 a week for a period of 30 years in an investment that's earning you 10% return, which is before any taxes or before any fees. Guess how much you could make in 30 years? You'll be surprised that the final amount is close to $1 million.
Oh, really?
Yes. So if I tell you that you want to make $1 million, well, it's not possible overnight, right?
Yeah, right.
But to get started, if you just get started with small amounts and invest that amount regularly, so which often that strategy is called as dollar cost averaging, where you're investing the same amount of money for a set interval at regular intervals for a long period of time.
Right.
And how that money is actually growing is there is a big thing called compound interest that kicks in.
Right.
So that allows your return to get reinvested, and then you're earning a return on return.
Right. So all this is part of, if I become a member, all this small tips, all this is part of my journey with you.
Absolutely. So you will get to hear these, and you'll also get to hear a lot of real life experiences from which you can understand sound investment principles.
Right.
So that's the whole purpose behind the club, is to use real life experiences, not just use jargons or concepts, rather simplify that with experiences.
Right, because I think most of the time women get, they are overwhelmed when it comes to jargon, when it comes to, a lot of investment, and they want to step back from it. That, if things are taught to them in a way they understand, in an easy way, day-to-day way, then I think that's more communicable to them and they connect too well to that.
Yeah, that's more relatable. So that's right. So if I tell you that you should build a well-diversified portfolio using an asset allocation strategy, did anything make sense to you? Probably not, right? But if I tell you that, okay, let me give you an example. There is a cafe business who is selling coffee as well as ice cream. Okay, so there are so many cafes in New Zealand or in India that you might have seen us selling both these products.
Right.
Now, if you think about it, both these products are unrelated.
Exactly.
But both of them are important for the business to grow because they're seasonal products.
Right.
So in the winter months, you'll have a higher coffee sales, and likewise in the summer months, you'll have a higher ice cream sales.
Right.
Now, if you've understood that, then basically you've understood the principle of diversification.
Right.
So that's the same principle that you want to apply to your portfolio, where you want to have assets that are unrelated, but that of course align with your risk goals and your investment goals. And they help you weather the market storm. because the
Right.
markets are constantly moving up and down.
Right.
But every investment, or as we call asset class, behaves differently to that market prices.
Right. And as
So
part of this financial club, you also help your members to invest in the right way, or invest in the right company where they should invest. You guide them.
So my focus is on providing education, not financial advice.
Right.
As you know, the regulations are quite strict in New Zealand.
Right.
So I am working towards my financial advisor modules. But until I'm able to do that, I am just focusing on education at the moment.
Right. Thank you, Hesha, and all the best for all your endeavors. I think it's very important for females to know the importance of investing right. And you have taken the right cause. And I think if done well, it will go a long way to empower women.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and keep up the good work, Hesha.
Yeah.